your credit, tax, and financial coach. How is everybody this evening? I am doing a late night impromptu live like I do sometimes. And tonight I am going to be talking to everybody about some easy credit hacks that can get you results quickly on your credit report. So I'm just gonna wait a minute and see if more people or log on to watch the live. So it'll just be a minute. And if you see me looking down, I am just monitoring like my Facebook and other social media sites for comments, just in case they don't show up here on Restream. Because it just sometimes it does, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. But if you are on my personal Facebook page, or if you are watching from my Facebook group, then there's a link that I put in there so that way you can click on it. And if you like, it will show me your profile and it'll show me your name. So that way, if you have any questions or you want to ask or make a comment, I can go ahead and address you directly. If not, then you can just go ahead and comment and it'll just show anonymous, like Facebook user or what have you. It just won't show your name and it won't show your profile picture, which is completely fine. It's absolutely no big deal. Okay, so we'll just give it another minute or another couple seconds, I should say, because it's been about a minute. Okay. So, like I said, I'm Denitza Rave. I am your credit, tax, and financial coach. I come on here on these live streams and in my Facebook group, and I talk about obviously credit, taxes, and financial coaching. Um, I have been a little bit about me. I have been in the accounting and the finance and tax world for about 16 years now. I uh, began my own business in 2010 as a tax preparer under my father in law. And then when he passed away, I took over the business and grew it. So I've been doing that since 2010 as well. I got into tax because I was I've always liked it, and my father-in-law did it and he introduced me to the tax world. But also I got laid off from my job many years ago after I had my second child. And you know things happen when you become unemployed and your husband gets unemployed, and I have a whole video on that. um, so I needed to find something. I needed to find an income stream doing something that I liked. And I found out I hated math in school, which is hilarious, but I found out I liked taxes. I had a knack for taxes and finance. I worked in the student loan industry for about 8 years before being laid off. I was a financial counselor at a huge for profit private university. So that's how I became, into this sort of stuff. Credit. I've been in the credit industry for a while now. I started by repairing my credit, my husband's credit unofficially. And then I grew into the credit business. And so now I'm also a credit consultant, counselor, specialist, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. And I love it. It's fun, it's challenging, and I definitely get the best results that I can for my clients. And then financial coaching, I've always been in the counseling field. So this was the next logical thing as well for me. So, okay, so that was enough about me. So now let's go ahead and get into this video podcast of easy credit hacks that will actually get you results. And remember, this video does not like constitute a client counselor relationship. This is just some information that I would like to educate my followers, my friends, my family, and the public on. Because it's always good to have knowledge. So, I'm going to be talking about score increases. If you see me looking down every so often, it's because I do, as always, have my notes because I don't want to forget anything. Um, and here we go. So the first thing is score credit increase or score increase hack. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to try to pay down your high balance credit cards first to improve your credit utilization. And what credit utilization means is the amount of your credit limit that you're using. So you never want to be maxed out. You never want to be over your credit limit, and you definitely don't want to get near that maxed out mark, because when you do, that is when you start hurting your credit really, really bad. Okay. Your credit score, drops. It won't increase, it won't budge. Remember, as I've said in other video podcasts, the number that you want to be at for your credit line is 30%. Okay. 30% or under you really want to be at, though, and that's good. Okay. uh but you really want to be under 10%, which is best. Okay. Because otherwise your score will go down and it won't budge, and we want to get that score moving, right? um if you can't pay down your high balance account, so say you have a credit card that's 10 grand. Okay. um or 20 grand, and I have a lot of clients that have that. And they definitely can't afford to pay that all at once. So if you can't do that, then at least pay off your low balance credit cards first. So if you have a credit card that has $1,000 on it and that's your lowest, or if you have a credit card that's like $100 balance, and that's your lowest, definitely pay those off first. Okay. If you can't pay your huge credit card bills, start small. Okay. That will definitely help you. Even if your balances end up being like, say you have like 5 small credit cards, if you can't afford to pay all of them off, then at least keep those credit utilizations. Try to pay one off. But if you can't, try to keep all of the credit utilizations between 1 to 3% of your balance. Okay. That is definitely a way to increase your credit score quickly. Okay. You also want to time your payments so that you have a $0 balance by your statement date. Okay. And I say statement date because the statement date is the date that is actually reported to the credit bureaus. Okay. So you have credits. I'm sorry. You have two dates. You have your due date. Okay. Where your monthly payment is due. So say your monthly credit card payment is due on the 15th of the month, but your statement date is the 20th of the month or 25th of the month. Then you want to have a zero balance by the 20th or the 25th, whatever your statement date is. Okay. Um, because that is the balance that will report to the credit bureaus. Okay. So, but if you can't have a $0 statement date, then get that balance down as low as you can by your on or before your statement date. So that way you have a good, accurate reflection on your credit report. Okay. Now, to talk a little bit about credit building hacks. So, it's definitely a definite quick way to build your credit score or to increase it, is by piggybacking on someone else's credit. Okay, legally, never illegally. Um, and you always want to get their permission. So, there's 3 ways that you can do that. Sorry, my paper is falling. Um, you can get a co-signer, okay, or a guarantor. Be sure that they have good credit. You don't want someone that has like okay or so credit, because that's not going to help you at all. It may actually hurt you. Okay. But remember, if you do have a cosigner for a credit card or any loan, you want to make sure you are making those payments on time, because that cosigner, if you fail to meet your obligations, then that person that was so kind to cosign for you will end up, one, footing your bill, okay, because they're not going to want their credit messed up. Two, um, you're going to damage their credit and your credit, okay, if you're not maintaining your at least your minimum balances due. So that is one way to kind of increase your credit quicker, okay, or to build your credit. Another way is opening a joint account. A lot of banks and whatnot may not offer joint credit card accounts. Not many do anymore. I think that was like a thing like back in the day. But if you know your bank offers that, or if you know a credit card company that offers joint credit accounts, definitely try to open one of those. Okay. Just be careful, because you want to make sure you open up a joint account with someone that you know, like, love, or trust. Okay. Because you don't want to open one up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, or your best friend, because there could be fallout, and you will be, you or that person will be left in the hole, so to speak, if one of you breaks up, don't, you're no longer friends, etc. Okay, so just be very careful with anything as far as joint accounts, and that even goes with bank accounts. Be very careful who you're opening up a bank account with, because if you have a fallout, that person, boom, can wipe out your entire account. Okay, so definitely be careful of that as well. Another way to build your credit is become an authorized user on someone's credit card with their permission. Don't just do it without their permission. It definitely helps with credit age, okay, and your credit profile. So it will definitely, as long as the person that you're you're becoming an authorized user for has a good score. Okay, you don't want to become an authorized user on someone that is going to default on their card payments or their loan payments, okay? So definitely someone that you like, love, know, or trust, or all of the above. Okay, so that's definitely a quick way. I know when I did that, when I became an authorized user on a credit card, it definitely shot my credit score up by 20 points, because the person who I became an authorized user on their credit card, they had excellent credit. So that in turn helped me a lot. Um, Consider applying for a credit builder loan. Okay. And I actually have a partnership with a few credit builders. So you can definitely let me know. You can comment below, or you can email me, and I'll go ahead and leave my email address for you. So that way, if you want information on it, I can go ahead and send it to you. That's not a problem. So how they work, and it's kind of detailed, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you guys. So credit builder loans are typically small amounts, so they can be a few $100s to $1,000 or so. Okay. A credit builder loan functions like a backward version, I guess you can say, of a traditional loan. Okay. So instead of you receiving the funds up front and paying the money back later, you first make all of the monthly payments, and then you receive the loan disbursements once you have paid off the loan. Okay. So for this reason, these types of loans are low risk for lenders. Okay. Which is why even those with bad credit, they can generally get this type of a loan. Okay. It's definitely helpful. It's made for people that have bad or really like thin credit. Okay. You can still qualify, provided that you definitely have sufficient income to make the monthly payments. You don't want to be applying for loans or a credit builder loan and you have no income, okay? Because you're just going to dig yourself in a hole even more. I know that sounds like Captain Obvious, but honestly, a lot of people do it because, they feel they have no other resource but to do that, which is sad. But, that's just a sad reality of life sometimes. The lender will then report your payment history to one or more of the major credit bureaus. And who are the major credit bureaus? TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. There's also several other credit bureaus out there, believe it or not. I've talked about them in past videos. But they're smaller ones, but they're still very important, like LexisNexis, Pacer, and a few others. Okay, so there's more than just three out there, but just the main ones that everyone knows about are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Okay. So basically, the credit builder loan will allow you to build credit history. Okay, and then there's another company out there called Seed, SEED, and you can also have a credit builder like loan or credit card through them. There's a whole bunch of things out there. Just make sure when you research, they're legitimate and they're real. Okay, you don't want to get yourself you don't want to be ripped off in any way. So I'm going to look to see. I don't see any comments floating here in Restream, but that honestly doesn't mean anything half the time. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my phone really quick and just see if there's any comments. Okay, because I don't want to ignore anybody. Okay, cool. Okay. So, increase your card limit. So, increasing your card limit is definitely another way. Ooh, I just got a message saying that the chat is going up and down. Okay. Sorry. Hopefully, for those of you that want to put a comment in, can get a comment in. So, increase your card limits. Okay. So, definitely one of the easiest and fastest ways to increase your score is increasing your card limit. So there's a few reasons that it's good. One, it's a soft pull, okay, meaning it's not going to affect your credit. The only type of inquiry that will affect your credit is what's called a hard pull, where they run your credit, okay? Like if it's a brand new credit card or a brand new loan. A soft credit just kind of looks over your history and your income and all that good stuff, and to see if they can improve it or not. Okay. So, like I said, ask for a card limit increase. It's a soft pull, so no effect on your credit. You're not applying for a new credit card. So, like I said, it won't be a hard credit on your credit report, because you definitely don't want to have a lot of hard inquiries on your credit, because every time you do, you can drop your credit about 10 points, which is a lot, you know. And number three, the reason why you want to increase your card limit is because it lowers your utilization rate. Okay, so say you have a $1,000 credit card, okay, and you're at $900, okay, and you want to increase your limit, and they approve you for say $500 extra. So that is definitely, once they do that, it's giving you that cushion there. So it's not showing that you're about to max out your credit card. It'll drop your credit utilization. So you're going to have a buffer there. Okay. So the credit bureaus aren't going to look and be like, oh, wow, that person is like really at their limit. No. Okay. It increasing your credit limit definitely helps you. Now, just because you increase your credit limit, and this is the financial coach in me talking, doesn't mean you need to spend up to that limit. Please, please, please don't do that. Okay. Just don't. You just want to go ahead and increase that limit. Well, I guess if it's an emergency and you need to use it, whatever, but you don't want to increase it just to willy-nilly use it. Okay. You just want to do it to increase your credit score. Um, every time I would ask for a credit increase, whenever I did it, I don't do it too much now, but in the past when I did it, like honestly, it would raise my credit score anywhere between 5 to 10 points. Okay. So it definitely helps. It's a really good way to do it. Another way is to ask for lower interest rates. Believe it or not many people know that they can do that, but they can. And I do it for clients. You can actually negotiate your interest rates. Okay. And that will help you pay your credit card off a lot faster if you have a lower interest rate. You can set up auto bill payments to increase your credit score because you're not going to be missing payments. I know sometimes I have bills that I have to set on auto pay because I will forget to pay it. Okay, so definitely if you're a forgetter and if you don't want to write it on a calendar, your due date, then set up auto pay with your bank. Okay, that's a good way to keep all of your payments on time. Now, just remember they're going to be deducted on that particular day, so you make sure you have the money in the account so you don't overdraw because that can happen and it can mess up your credit. It'll mess up your relationship with your bank and all of that. Okay, it's you want to be very careful of that, and they can send you collections for that. If your account just gets so overdrawn you can't catch up. Okay, I mean it'll take a little bit but it will happen, so just be very careful of that. And remember too, just on that note, one missed payment, just one, can drop your credit 20 points. And 20 points is a lot, especially if you're like in the mid to low credit range. So if like you're like at 675, so basically anything pretty much under 700, that is a big drastic effect on your credit. So be careful of that. Um Pay down your high interest balances to save money on interest and to pay off your debt faster as well. Okay. So if you pay off the high interest balances, it's going to definitely help you financially and credit wise. Okay. If you can and if you want to, you can always do a balance transfer, okay, to a card with a lower interest rate. So that way you can just eliminate the balance on that high interest card, and you'll whatever balance that was there will go to your lower interest card for the transfer, and you'll save yourself money in the long run that way. Okay, and then also time your credit inquiries if possible. So say you're looking for a car, okay, um and you go to Ford in like Riverside or whatever, and you didn't like the quote or whatever that they're giving you, and so you want to go over to Dodge or whatever, or Honda, just making up names on the top of my head, dealerships. You want to make sure you do that within 14 days of your initial inquiry, because the credit bureaus would consider that like window shopping for a loan. So if you go over that 14-day mark, then it will, and then you run your credit again. So seriously, like on that 15th day, if you still haven't found a good loan, and they run it again at a different dealership, it's going to knock your credit down again at least anywhere between 10 to 15 points, sometimes more. So definitely make sure if you're going to be car shopping, do it within those 2 weeks, okay, during that 14 days. Otherwise, it's going to knock you down again. Or, if you still don't find it and you want to wait, then give yourself a couple months, build your credit back up, at least the points that was knocked off. Okay. At least do that and then go ahead and do it again. Now, for home buying, it is a little different. I believe you have I can't remember off the top of my head right now, and it's late, and I'm dealing with COVID with my family. I don't have it, thank God, but they have it. Just today. I believe it's 45-day window. Okay. So you have like 30 to 45 days to shop for a lender and your approval and all that. So if you go over that 45-day mark, so if you're like at 46 and you run your credit again, there's another 10, 15, 20 points being dropped from your score. And it's very important to watch that, especially when you're trying to buy a home. When you're trying to buy a car, it's important, but definitely when you're trying to buy a home, you need to have all those points that you can get on your credit. Okay. And you don't want to have like a million inquiries on your credit report, because that doesn't look good at all. Like I had one client who went to get a car loan. He had, and I kid you not, it was insane. He went to one car dealership, and when they pulled up their credit report a few days later, or because it was like at the time where it was time to report, they had, just from that one visit to the car dealership alone, 113 inquiries. That is insane. So that's the thing too, when you shop for cars, like the dealership will just send your information to the void of the internet or whatever, and to all these different banks that they're associated with, to see if they can get you, to see which bank will bite to give you the loan. So this guy hit the dealership, sent his application out, and it went to 113 different banks and lenders. You definitely don't want that to happen. Okay. That was the first time I've ever seen it. I've seen like maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 different people that the loan applications have gone out to, but man, 113, that's insane. So definitely watch yourself and be careful, because you don't want your credit report to show a million inquiries. Okay. Because like I've always said in the past, your credit score is important. Yeah. But honestly, what lenders really, really look at is your credit picture. It's your credit, your entire credit report. That is more important in a way than your credit score. Okay. Because honestly, it'll work hand in hand. If you have a pretty credit report, you're going to have a pretty credit score. But if you have a crummy credit report, then guess what? You're going to have a crummy credit score. I hope that makes sense. So definitely when you shop for a car or you shop for a home, watch that window. Okay. Make sure you watch the window. That is it. That's all I have for you guys tonight. So I will hang here just for a minute. I see that there's a few people watching on, multiple platforms, but I just want to wait on here and just see if anyone has any questions. Oh, let me give you my email. Let me go to the chat. Oh, and it logged me out of the chat. That's not good. Okay. 1 second. I apologize. Now it's making me look for crosswalks, those CAPTCHA things. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, this is my email. And this email that I'm giving you guys, it's not for marketing purposes. No spamming me, please. That is for you guys. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if you need help on your credit or your taxes, or if you need financial coaching, you can get a hold of me here. It's Danitza at ravefinancialservices.com. Here is my website. Okay, rayfinancialservices.com. You can sign up for my services there. I've also written ebooks. I've made planners. I've made a bunch of stuff. So if you go to my online store, you're going to see a whole bunch of like periodicals and such for you guys if you want to, skim through and if you want to purchase something. Okay. I have some DIY books on there for do it yourself credit, or you can do it for me or with me. Okay. And then let me go ahead and put my Facebook group in here. This is a private Facebook group. You have to be allowed in. I have to approve you because this is like a safe place for people that have credit issues, tax issues, finance issues, or they just want to talk and have questions. Okay. I'm sorry. I just heard one of my kids probably coughing upstairs because they were just diagnosed with coronavirus. Not fun. So I have all my family pretty much upstairs, and I'm downstairs with me and my other daughter. We are in the safe zone, I guess. Okay. So you have my website, rayfinancialservices.com. You have my email, Denitza at rayfinancialservices.com. And you have my Facebook group right there. Okay. So thank you so much for joining in this 30-minute chat. If you have any questions, concerns, definitely feel free to reach out. If you want to set up an appointment, if you want to set up a free consultation, I do give free 15-minute consultations. Then you can go ahead and go on my website and you can sign up for that. Okay. If you found this useful, if you found this educational, definitely comment, like, and share, because that way I can reach so many more people and get this information out to as many people as I can, because it's important for, everyone to know. Education is always important. Okay. So thank you so much again. I'm Denitza Rave, your credit, tax, and financial coach. And my company is Ray Financial Services. I will talk to you all soon. You have a blessed night.